here, boys and girls in sporting lands. You saw by the lead up at the introductory there that the Georgia Bulldogs are always on their own minds. You know that Georgia song, that old, is it a country song? Georgia, oh Georgia, you're always on my mind. Can't remember. I think it's a country song. But anyway, Georgia is actually the ones that have a certain team on their mind, and I think it's Alabama. I mean, I can't be sure, I can't be certain. It might be pure unadulterated hatred of a Georgia Tech who just lost 55-0 to Notre Dame. But I doubt it. It's that same team that has been emasculating Georgia for so freaking long. And, I'm a historian of sorts. I love college football. I have been mastered my college football history starting back in 1981 with Athlin's magazine, and henceforth got every Athlin magazine there is available since 1981. If y'all ever in T-Town, come on by. JPC will show you exactly my big-ass collection. Now, getting back to it. But before I get back to it, I'd like to ask you guys and gals, do me a big, huge favor. Let's do the big four today. Like, share, comment, and that's right, subscribe to this channel, because this is the home of the Common Joe and Common Sally in the Know, even more so than all those media talking heads. And I'm your host, JPC, also known as the Outlaw of College Football. Now, getting back to it, Georgia is begging, almost crawling for respect. They want everybody to recognize them as the champions they are. But there's one thing that's really stopping all that. For you hedge pissers out there, to be respected as the champions that you want to be respected as, you got to do one thing. Just one thing. Well, actually two. You need to do two things. One of them is something that you hadn't done since the early part of the century. The first thing you need to do is beat Alabama. They beat you 6 games in a row. The second thing you need to do to be recognized as a relevant champion and one of those at the championship table, it's pretty simple. It's pretty obvious. You need to win a national championship. If you want us to recognize you as valid and champions, then win a championship. Not just the SEC title. There's numerous other teams out there all over the place that's won conference titles a multitude of times. Oklahoma, Ohio State, multitude. Oklahoma's in the same boat almost as Georgia. Without Georgia, Oklahoma would be the one that's getting all the grilling. I got a few stats here that you might be interested in. If you Georgia fans want to know exactly why we give you so much hell and why we are refusing to give you that respect that you want so bad. I mean, y'all want this so bad, man. It's hard for me to describe how bad you want this. Almost like a drug addict with a fiending problem. But check it out. Overall record versus Alabama. 41, 25, and 4. Alabama leads the series. The first 6 games in this series, since we're going to go back in history, the first 6 games played for Georgia as the home team were either in Columbus or Atlanta instead of Athens up until 1935. Y'all wasn't even able to play games on campus against Alabama until 1935. So that lends to a little bit of the historical disrespect that you continue to whine about. Now, let's go to some of these games. The last 6 games that y'all have played against Alabama, you've choked away or either got blown out. and yet you consistently want to say, hey, we don't respect you enough. Well, the only way to get that respect that you so dearly desire is to do something about it. Win a game, man. Come on now. Look, last 6 games. Let's go back to 2008, the infamous blackout game. Georgia versus Alabama. This was the year that Mark Richt, who had already won the SEC title. I like Mark Richt. He's a good guy. This was the year that Mark Richt was finally going to put it together and win a national championship with Georgia. They play Alabama in a blackout game in Athens, and they get down. And Georgia's ranked number 3. Alabama's ranked number 8. So they're favored in this game. And yet they're down 31-0 at halftime. They come back and make it look a lot better than it really was. It ends up 41-30. Then in 2012, this was basically a play-in game for the national championship game against Notre Dame. And they were up by 14 or, I think it was 13 or 14 points. And they choked the lead away. And Alabama, actually I think it was 11. Might have been 11 points. They just blocked a kick and went up by 11. But yeah, it was a double-digit lead. And they end up losing the game 32-28 as they were stopped at the 5-yard line. And once again, they were ranked ahead of Alabama. They were number 3, and Alabama was number 8. So, moving on to 2015. Georgia was number 8, and Alabama was number 13. In 2015, it was a regular season game, and Alabama won 38-10 in the driving rain. Okay? Once again, Georgia is the favored team, and they're ranked. A lot of people keep trying to say, oh, this is different. This year is different because Georgia's ranked number 1. Georgia's ranked ahead of Alabama. So this is our birthright. Then in 2018, we have the infamous 2nd and 26 game. Alabama's down 13-0 at halftime. The backup quarterback comes in. Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts was a starting quarterback in that game. Jalen Hurts gets benched. Tua Tagovailoa comes in, and on 2nd and 26, puts a ball on the dime to the future Heisman Trophy winner Devontae Smith, and Alabama pulls it out in overtime after missing a field goal, 26-23. And then there was the SEC title game in 2018. Jalen Hurts, who had been benched and hadn't started since he basically had one of these worst games against Georgia, and Tua took over and won the games I just said. Jalen comes in after Tua gets injured, and Jalen writes a storybook ending to his career at Alabama. Went on to Oklahoma to do well as well, and brings Alabama back to beat Georgia 35-28. Once again, Georgia's number 3 and Alabama's number 4 in that 2nd and 26 game. In 2018, if I'm not mistaken, I think maybe Georgia, Now, I think Alabama was actually ranked ahead in that game. But as you can see, there's a trend here. Then in 2020, I'd say 2020. Then in 2020, Alabama basically pulls away in the 4th quarter here in Tuscaloosa and beats Georgia 41-24. Another blowout victory. That's 2 blowout victories out of those 6. And from what I'm seeing here, at least half of those games, Georgia was ranked ahead of Alabama. So all this hullabaloo about, Georgia's ranked ahead of Alabama, so that means something. Excuse us if we're not impressed. Excuse us if we haven't heard this before. Now, this may indeed be Georgia's year. But let me tell you something. Until you guys prove it, we're going to keep giving you hell. And that's all I got to say about that. If you guys and gals got a different take on this, or if you can give me some more fire for fuel, drop it in the comment section. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. And as always, KMCA to all the other teams.